Are you choosing the right account size? Because it really does matter. Believe it or not, but these prop firms have an exact edge that they know they have over you, and then they try to screw you by getting you to choose accounts that will lead to you blowing up. So my goal is to help you increase your edge against these prop firms so that you can win and beat them at their own game and really tilt the odds of beating them in your favor, so you're not getting screwed by prop firms anymore. I need to explain to you guys is profit to drawdown ratio. The greed trap is what I call it. And then this is what I've came up with. I've created like a mathematical formula that measures the odds of it being in your favor or in their favor. So I call it PTDR. So profit to drawdown ratio. When figuring out the ratio between the drawdown and the profit target, you get the amount of edge the prop firm has over you depending on which account you choose. And as you'll see in this video, there are clear accounts that you should avoid and clear winners. 25K account has a profit target of 1,500, a drawdown of 1,500. Each account is based off the drawdown, right? This isn't a 50K account, it's a $2,500 account. This isn't a 25K account, it's a 1,500 account. A 100K account is not a 3,000, is not a 100K account. It allows you to trade that many contracts because each contract requires $5,000 worth of margin to trade. So that's why they name it a 100K account, because they're going to give you 12 contracts, which that's not equaling out to, 100K, but like a company that gives you 20 contracts in the 100K account, that would equal out to 100K, right? Including the margin. So that's why they're like
advertised as 150K.
It's just a tactic to get you to buy into the bigger accounts is what it is. So then now let's go over here. So now we have the 100K, $6,000 of profit target. And then this is where it gets crazy, a drawdown of 3,000. So now you see it's starting to get worse and worse for you as the trader. 150K account, $9,000 and $4,500 of drawdown. So you got an extra $1,500 of drawdown, but now you have to make 3 times that amount in profit. So it starts getting worse and worse as you go the higher it gets worse. 250K account, profit target of 1,500, drawdown of 5,500. Let's just do a little bit of an experiment here. So looking at these two accounts, you cannot say that an account that has a profit target of 1,500 and a drawdown of 1,500 is the same as an account that has a profit of 20,000 and a drawdown of only 7,500. You see the difference there? There's a clear difference. The profit and the drawdown are the same. This is going to be a profit to drawdown ratio of 1. This here is a profit to drawdown ratio of 2.6. 1 is equal. You cannot say that these two accounts are the same. You wouldn't say that, right? So, and then in this account right here, you have a drawdown of 7,500, but you have a profit target of 20,000. So how I came up with this profit to drawdown ratio is I just take the profit, 20,000, and then divide it by the drawdown amount, 7,500 equals 2.6. They're making you make 2.6 times more profit than this account, but they're not giving you the drawdown to go with it, right? If we compare here, if we take 20,000 divided by 1,500 equals 13 times more profit. So you see the ratio here is skewed in their favor, and they want you to make 13 times the 1-to-1 ratio you see here. So you're having to make 13 times more profit in this account. We can start to really look at these different accounts. So a 150K account, which we're now going to call a $5,000 account because that's how much drawdown they give you, is a PTDR of 1.8. Not great, not horrible, but not great. So in a 50K account, the PTDR is 1.2. So they have a 0.2 edge over you. 1 is equal. So the best account size that you can possibly choose is a 25K account. It has a profit target of 1,500 and drawdown of 1,500. They have no edge over you in that sense. Like this account here is by far the best account to choose that gives you the best chance of success. Yes, you may have to size down. Yes, you may have to trade differently because you're not going to be able to use full size account or full-size contracts, you have to use the micros. But in terms of the prop firm's edge over you, this account cannot be beaten. All right, so let's talk about this. What do I mean by edge against you? Prop firm's edge against you. The edge, which I'm referring to, is the odds of you failing. So the prop firms have engineered this as a business, right? They know exactly what rules, what drawdown needs to be in place that a certain percentage of traders lose so that they remain profitable, that their business can stay open. Now, prop firms are going to hate that I'm saying this, but the fact is each rule increases your odds of failure, each and single one of them. They will say that these rules are there to help the trader, to ensure that you don't do this, you don't do that. But let's face it, guys, rules are there so that they can skew the odds in their favor tick by tick until it's finally a stable money-making business, right? Which is great. We need them to be money-making businesses to utilize them. But I do want to help you guys realize that these rules are in place to ensure that a certain number of you fail. Okay, and here's a company that I absolutely despise. Number one, because their CEO has bankrupted a prop firm before, left thousands of traders without payouts, no refunds, and people just like to forget this ever happened. So if you don't think this company isn't going to do that again, you're mistaken. There's been several prop firm CEOs like him that have done this before, wait 3 or 4 years, and then come back and do it again. So look at my fast track trading, for example. Would you sign up with him, guys, after what he did to everybody? No, and he even gave some refunds out and payouts after they shut down. This dude did not. So the only difference between him and the guy that runs My Fund of Futures is that it was just years ago. So let's look at their rules here. It is insane. So order placement, simultaneously placing limits orders at the same price, gap or liquid market trading, slippage and brackage, economic data one, tier one, compliance with CME group rules, advice sharing, copy trading, commitment to ethic and fair trading, and it goes on here. News trading, they have like 30 rules around news. So like, look at all these rules, guys. Every single one of these is a way to ensure that you do not get payouts. So they have a maximum drawdown, daily loss limit, and end of day drawdown, consistency rules, minimum trading days for payouts and during the evaluation. This is insane. A maximum drawdown, daily loss limit, and end of day drawdown. Plan your trades. They're telling you must plan your trades. They're going way over the top here. So a 40% consistency rule, you cannot withdraw any of your profits if any of the trading days is made 40% or more. So now some of these rules are not necessarily to ensure that you fail, but they're to make sure that you do not withdraw and win, right? So let's go over some of the rules that I think are the worst.
Let's go ahead and look at what the average company is putting on you to see that you
where
fail.
you can only make 30% of your profit target in a day. Those rules absolutely are there to ensure that you do not make any money, or if you do make money, it's not very much. So the next one is going to be payout restrictions. I'm not a fan of premium prop firms that implement these. I think a company that you're paying decent money for the valuations should not have any payout restrictions. So let's go over some of the payout restrictions that companies are commonly using. So limiting payouts to a specific amount of time, meaning you can only withdraw after 5 days. You can only withdraw after 10 days, after a month, whatever it may be. I would say 75% of prop firms have this in place. This ensures that you're forced to trade on days without getting payout. Each day that you trade skews their profitability towards them higher and higher. So the longer that they have this period of time, the more likely you are to make mistakes, mess up, and blow up. And then you add that with the consistency rule, meaning, so we're going to make you trade for 10 trading days. And then on top of that, we're going to say that you can only make this much money, or your largest day can only be this much. That way, when you're having a good day, you're forced to limit your trading. And then they hope that when your bad day comes along, that it will burn up all your profits, right? That's very smart on their part. So next one is going to be first blank payouts. You can withdraw this much. And then after your fifth payout, or how many ever payouts that may be, you then can withdraw how much ever you have in your account. You're free to withdraw as much as you want. A lot of prop firms do this. I don't necessarily think this one's that bad. I get it. Like some of these companies have to put in a lot of different rules to ensure that they get a lot of profit. Different companies are going to have a set amount of profit that they need to be sustainable and continue on. I get it, but it definitely is another way that they're skewing the odds in their favor and ensuring that you don't make very much money. The other one is you need a certain amount of winning trading days over a certain amount to get a payout. So a very popular prop firm does this, which would be Top Step, right? We know Top Step implements this. I personally do not like this one at all, because this ensures that you're at least trading for at least a week without getting a payout. It's another way just to do the previous ones without saying it. This ensures that you have to trade for 5 trading days and probably more, let's face it. So they're not going to be paying you anything until at least 1 week. And then that week will go by, and then maybe they pay you on Tuesday, because Monday you would hit the needed 5 days. So let's say you started on Monday, you got 5 trading days. Friday would be your 5th day. And then you'll put in the request to withdraw on Friday. You won't get it until Monday, possibly Tuesday. So that ensures that they get at least 7 days total before they have to pay you anything. I'm not a big fan of that. And that's why someone said that the best prop firm was Top Step. And I just was kind of like, whoa, that's kind of crazy to even say that because of that rule right there. And then they'll also say that you need each day you must profit over $250. Some other companies that have $100, I've seen some up as high as $350. Again, another way to ensure that you're pressing the gas pedal. Let's say you've had a rough day and you're only at $150. You like clawed your way to that 150. You should stop trading. But you're like, dang, I got 4 days. I just need 1 more day and I can get that withdrawal. This is going to force you to go back in the market and press some more buttons. And they're just going to hope that you have a bad trade and fail. You have to understand each and every one of these prop firms, there is not a single one that does not want you to fail. They all want you to fail, guys. The only point that they don't want you to fail is when you're in a live trading market. At that point, you and the prop firm are, when you go into a live account, that is when gosh damn, am I gonna talk, dude? Once in the live account with these prop firms, that's when you're both aligned. Both interests of the parties are in line, and the prop firm wants you to win and you want to win. Before that, you have to know these prop firms want you to lose. And now we have how they want you to trade. That's another way that they can restrict you. So dollar cost averaging, scalping, when and how, and news are other ways that they're going to restrict you and decrease your chances of success through your trading style. We saw this with Apex in the summer. They decided that dollar cost averaging was costing them too much money, and they would not pay anybody out that dollar cost averaged in more than once per trade or something like that, something weird like that. And then you see a lot of companies, My Funded Futures does this a lot. I've heard a lot of people getting denied payouts for scalping. Your trading times on average were this much, so we're going to deny your payout. When and how, we've seen several companies do this. You're not allowed to trade at the opening, that kind of thing. And you're not allowed to take over a certain amount of trades. Take Profit Trader actually used to have that rule. You weren't allowed to take over more than 50 trades in a day. They obviously got rid of it because it was just really silly. And then most companies are going to have news rules against news. So when prop firm first came out, the funded trading firms anyways, they allowed news trading. And just recently in the last year, they've gotten rid of them. I personally have hit really, really big trades on these news events. So if you come across a company that allows news trading, or you know about one now, would you comment below and let me know which company that is? Because I do think there is a... All right, so those are some of the restrictions. There's obviously a lot more that we could go through. So did you guys notice that not a single one of these restrictions or odds enhancers for the prop firm Take Profit Trader has? Did you guys notice that? So when people complain about their one restriction, which is going to be trailing drawdown in their funded account, that is when gosh damn, I'm gonna talk, dude. Once in the live account with these prop firms, that's when you're both aligned. Like both interests of the parties are in line, and the prop firm wants you to win and you want to win. Before that, you have to know these prop firms want you to lose. Say most companies have at least 4 or 5 of these, right? And then this way that they can restrict you. So dollar cost averaging, scalping, when and how, and news are other ways that they're going to restrict you and decrease your chances of success through your trading style. We saw this with Apex in the summer. They decided that dollar cost averaging was costing them too much money, and they would not pay anybody out that dollar cost averaged in more than once per trade or something like that, something weird like that. And then you see a lot of companies, My Funded Futures does this a lot. I've heard a lot of people getting denied payouts for scalping. Your trading times on average were this much, so we're going to deny your payout. When and how, we've seen several companies do this, like you're not allowed to trade at the opening, that kind of thing. And you're not allowed to take over a certain amount of trades. Take Profit Trader actually used to have that rule. You weren't allowed to take over more than 50 trades in a day or something. And they obviously got rid of it because it was just really silly. And then most companies are going to have news rules against news. So when prop firm first came out, the funded trading firms anyways, they allowed news trading. And just recently in the last year, they've gotten rid of them. I personally have hit really, really big trades on these news events. So if you come across a company that allows news trading, or you know about one now, would you comment below and let me know which company that is? We've talked about the edges that the prop firm has over you, but what can you guys do to increase your edge over the prop firm? We're going to go through each of these. I'm going to try to break them down as well as I can, but I'm going to tell you, I've talked about each and every single one of these in a video on this channel multiple times. I'll put those videos in the description. So the first one here, guys, is maybe the biggest one that's going to help increase your odds, which is going to be save your stop. Let's say you're in a trade and you know you're going to lose on it. You have that feeling in your gut, right? This is when you want to go ahead and just exit the trade. You can always re-enter, but you can't get that money back, right? That's the main thing. You can't get that money back, but you can take your risk off the table at any point you want. People feel like once their stop is set that, oh, it's just either going to hit my stop or I'm going to win the trade. You can't trade like that. I always say my stop, I try to ever let my stop get hit because it really helps with my mental state if I take it out, because then I don't feel like I got forced out of the market. I made the decision. And then it also increases your odd because when you get stopped out, especially on NASDAQ, it pushes up aggressively. Your stop doesn't trigger for a half a second or so. So that's an extra 2 to 3 points on your loss that you're going to take. If you save your stop, you're going to take it maybe a point or two early. So on average, you'll be saving 3 to 5 points per loss, right? And if you do the math on that, on like, let's say 50 trades times 4, that's 200 points. Times that by the points, that saves you over 50 trades, 50 losses. That's $4,000. That's the difference between some of you being profitable and unprofitable. All right, another one is risk no more than 10% of available drawdown. So your first trade of the account, let's say you have $2,500 drawdown, you would not risk more than 10%. That would be $250. That allows for 10 losses in a row, which if you have a decent strategy, very unlikely. But if you're risking more than that, you're almost guaranteed to fail because of risk of ruin kicking in. So if you don't know about risk ruin, I did a video on my channel about that as well. And another one is trade on the right side of the V. So if you think about price action as it comes into an area, let's say it comes down, boom, wait for it to like come down, consolidate, and push up and make a V. So like this. You want it, you think by setting a limit order, you're getting in earlier, but you're really not. And I'll show you why. So a limit order, let's say it's coming into your zone. You put a limit order there, right? You're getting in early, but this hasn't printed yet. You don't know where to put your stop. But let's say you do it on the right side of the V. You enter in right here. You get a better price than there. And now you have a clear area to put your stop. You have a managed risk. And I feel like you don't know if price is even reversing yet. So setting a limit order there is kind of like guessing. And to me, it is a very elementary way of trading because you're just guessing it's going to stop. You have no idea how much farther it might go. And this will help you in a couple different ways. So drastically increase your win rate. It reduces your risk. So just those two alone, we're talking about a lot less risk and a higher win rate. That could be 2, 3, 4, maybe even 600 points over 100 trades, which again, might be the difference between you guys being profitable and unprofitable. And then this is a big one, use one time framing for exits. So one time framing is a market profile thing. I did not come up with it or anything like that. So if we look at today, right? So we had a huge long streak of one time framing for almost 3 hours. So these black candles here, one time framed all the way down and it continued until the low was set. So I'm a scalper. Most scalpers aren't profitable, but I am. So why am I the exception? Because I implement one time framing. So right here, one time framing begins on this candle close. So you just take the high of the previous candle and then you put that there. And then you stay in the trade until it takes out the previous candle's high. I really implement this once it goes into my area of interest. You'd be surprised. This on average will get me, 12 points or so on average, but there's some trades that it goes for like 50 points. Last night I hit one where it was an extra 12R on my trade. The target I was aiming for was only like 3R away and ended up going another extra 9R. So imagine what that does to your overall chance of success. It increases your risk to reward so much in your favor that it could be thousands of points over a set of 100 trades, which, come on guys, like that's a game changer. So you starting to see where we're going here. And then you would just continue to do that and stay in the trade until it breaks the previous candle's low. I usually implement this on a 1 minute time frame or a 30-second. So like in this example, you'd be out right there. Your target could have been this low. So you would have got an extra 200 points. Let's say you risk 6 points. That is an extra 33R, just for an example. And then I always use limit orders. If you're worried about the spread in futures and you don't want to pay the extra $3 or whatever it may be, $30, it doesn't matter. Penny pinching in trading is not helping you. So you're setting that limit order. The only way that you can set a limit order and expect to get into the trade is being on the left side of the V. So these kind of two go together. I just market order in. People are like, oh, the spread, but the spread is almost nothing in futures compared to the leverage. It's almost nothing. Maybe a point. So there is no spread. That's a Forex thing. You don't need to be doing that in futures. I don't set take profit orders, as you just saw. Someone in the comments was saying, Man, I could never get a payout with a certain prop firm because orders go right to my limit order, take profit, and then they just never hit it. And I'm like, well, why don't you just cut the trade when it turns against you instead of using limit orders? So this also increases your risk reward ratio. Trade for no more than 30 minutes without taking a break. This one is huge. Over 30 minutes, the science shows that you're more likely to go into tilt because your ability to make high level decisions starts drastically decreasing at about 40 minutes. I used to have a really big problem with going into tilt, and since I implemented that, I don't really struggle with it anymore. And then again, avoid tilt at all costs. So if you go into tilt, you're not going to follow your strategy. You're not going to follow your risk management rules. You're not going to do anything that you just spent who knows how long, maybe years trying to overcome. So it only makes sense to fight tilt at all costs. If that means you have to save your stop, risk no more than 10% of your available drawdown. Trade on the right side of the V. Use one time frame for exits. Only use market orders. Trade for no more than 30 minutes. So you see all of these rules I came up with to help me beat the prop firm, but also to keep me from going into tilt. This really helps a lot because I don't feel like I got stopped out when I exit. Most of my tilt comes from taking too big of losses. That helps with that. I hate when I exit a trade and I see it continue on. And I hate getting stopped out with a really big risk on the table. And often I can handle a million small losses, but not that. This helps me get as much profit as I can. And yeah, this is the big one that keeps me out of tilt. So these here, if you add these all together, guys, we're talking, if we want to talk about PTDR, this is like a 2. So let's add this up here. So if you think about the big accounts give prop firms an edge over you, I would say that this is at least a 1.2 increase of your edge over the prop firm. This one's probably like a 0.5 because it's still a little bit too high of risk. And then trade on the right side of the V, that one's huge. I would say it's at least 1. And then use one time frame or exits, probably a 1.5. No limit orders, probably a 0.75. This one's huge. That's a 1.5er. And then avoid tilt at all cost. That's a 0.5. So that's a 6.95 is what I would add all these up to. That they're going to increase your risk to reward ratio over 100 trades. So how many of you guys only need, let's say, to make an extra $1,000 out of 100 trades and you'd be profitable and getting payouts? Probably a lot of you guys. I almost guarantee if you implement these, you cannot fail if you have a valid strategy. So hopefully this helps you out, guys. And there is no company that is better. And I'm guessing that 90% of the people that said companies that have these are better than Take Profit Trader aren't getting payouts. Because if you were, it's because why are we in this, guys? Money, money, period. So I think that you guys would have learned that you need to be choosing which is the 25K account or the 50K account, but anything higher you want to stay away from. So like these guys, for example, which are just the worst people on earth, but starter account has a profit target of $3,000. So I was kind of surprised by some of the comments I got in my last video, them talking about Take Profit Trader and how they're not the best. There was only a few, but the few of them I was just like kind of shocked. So here is the restrictions or odds enhancers for Take Profit Trader that they give to themselves, which is going to be trailing drawdown in the funded account, which stops at the starting balance. So once you make $2,000, it stops, right? And then it goes away. It's no longer an issue. Then let's review the rest, everyone, all the other companies here. It goes on so far down the page, I have to go scroll up. So payout limitations, meaning you get payouts every blank days. I would say a minimum of 7. Max payout, meaning you can only take a $2,000 payment, $2,500, whatever it may be per account size. You need to have a certain amount of winning trading days, max payout for a number of payouts, meaning your payouts will be restricted until you have 5 or more payouts. So no dollar cost averaging in. Biggest day must be 30% or less of profits. Some companies, this varies from 20 to 30. Must hold trades longer than 30 seconds. More than a couple trader companies do that. Sticking to your regular trading system, whatever that means. Scaling plan must make $250 or more. So that's just some rules. There's a lot more rules than that. You just saw My Fund of Futures has a lot more than that. Versus this, guys, which one's better? Can you answer me? I would say most companies have at least 4 or 5 of these, right? And then this. So you're going to tell me something that goes away in your funded account after you reach to a certain amount of profit that goes away. The only restriction that they have against you from stopping you from making money and taking that money out of the account is worse than these. Look at all these guys. Like, come on. You can't, like, it's illogical to think that even a single one would ruin Take Profit Trader. A scaling plan, I wouldn't trade with them. Must hold long trade, it's longer than 30 seconds, I would definitely not fuck with that. Biggest day must be 30% or less of your profits. Any of these were over here, I would not say they were the best, but because they do not have a single one of these, it makes them the best. You cannot even, like, I don't know. You guys do what you want, guys. Trade who you want. But if you're getting payouts, there is no company that is better. And I'm guessing that 90% of the people that said companies that have these are better than Take Profit Trader aren't getting payouts. Because if you were, you would be like worried about this because why are we in this, guys? Money, period. So I think that you guys would have learned that you need to be choosing this account, which is the 25K account, or the 50K account. But anything higher than that, you want to stay away from. So like these guys, for example, which are just the worst people on earth, but go with them if you want. They have a profit target of 3,000 and a drawdown of 4,000 each. There's only $1,000 between those two. They don't even offer the 25K account anymore. 100K account. Oh, I take that back. So their starter account has a profit target of $3,000 and a daily loss limit of $1,200 and a trailing max drawdown of $2,500. This expert account has a profit target of 4,000 and then a max trailing drawdown of 2,500 and no daily loss limit. So this account is insanely better. This one is like much better just because it does not have a daily loss limit. It has less restrictions that are in the prop firm's favor, but they equal this out by taking $500 of drawdown from you. So given the price is almost 3 times higher, I would actually say that this is better just because of the price difference, but still all the way around. This one doesn't have scaling. I don't know what micro scaling is, and doesn't have consistency rules. So this one has less rules, but are those rules worth the 4 times the cost? I don't know. I would avoid this company at guys like all cost. Avoid them. If there's another company, go with them. Please, guys, save yourself. So if you guys want to get funded with legit prop firms that I 100% back up and guarantee their payouts, Bullnox Trader Funding has a 91% off discount. This is incredible, guys. Considering Bullnox, you never hear anybody say anything negative about this company, ever, because they are on point. When it comes to payouts, they are on point. For the pricing, I recommend that you stick with Bullnox until you start getting payouts with them. Once you get payouts with them, you should be switching over to Take Profit Trader, just because, like, look at the rules here, guys. Like, there's like nothing. There's no rules. Look at this. Do not hit your profit target or hit your profit target. Do not exceed maximum position sizing. Do not hit your drawdown. Trade approved products during approved hours. That's it. There's no other rules. Like, that's what you need from a funding company. But do I think traders that have just started out should be using Take Profit Trader? No, because the cost of the accounts are so much higher than you could get 7 evals for the price of one take profit trader eval. So all you're going to be doing is just costing yourself a bunch of money that's unnecessarily. So again, guys, hopefully you see this here that these accounts are not equal. They do not have the same chance of success, regardless of who you are as a trader. It doesn't matter. Your success rate will be drastically lower with these accounts than this one. And then if you want to learn how to beat these prop firms, I have a Discord, a very active community with a lot of good traders in it. I trade live just about every single day. We do futures trading, we do options trading, we do meme coin trading. Yeah, everything you need to know how to beat these prop firms you can find in my Discord. So come check it out, guys, and I will see you guys in the charts. Hopefully this video helps you beat these guys and really start pulling money out of the market.